Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a profound biological mystery. Why do most diets fail, and how does your body actively fight weight loss? We're going to explore the deeply interconnected systems of human survival, looking at everything from how metabolic stress alters your micromental health to how gut-brain communication orchestrates your healthy aging. Honestly, this isn't just about calories in and calories out. It is a fascinating, complex story about human survival.
So let's dive into this. Why is it that after months of agonizingly hard work losing weight, the pounds seemingly just rush back the moment we stop? For decades, our modern culture has blamed a lack of willpower. But the science tells a completely different and, frankly, incredible story. We aren't fighting a lack of discipline. We are fighting an ancient, highly coordinated evolutionary defense network.
Section 1. The Weight Regain Mystery. To deeply understand this, we first need to look at a modern, extreme case study of weight loss that literally shocked the scientific community.
6 years after the Biggest Loser television competition, researchers actually tracked down the contestants to see how they were doing, and what they found was just staggering. The participants' resting metabolic rates remained suppressed by over 700 calories a day. And get this, that was true even after most of them had regained the weight. Their bodies were operating in a persistent hypometabolic state, furiously trying to conserve energy. To figure out why the human body possesses such an aggressive memory of fat loss, we have to look back into history.
Section 2. The Starvation Experiment. To find the root of this phenomenon, we're traveling back to 1944 to examine Dr. Ansel Keys' landmark Minnesota starvation experiment.
This was an era where the scientific community desperately needed to understand how to rehabilitate famine victims following World War II. Following a 12-week baseline, Keys subjected 36 fit, healthy men to a 24-week semi-starvation phase. He'd cut their intake to roughly 1,560 calories a day to mimic wartime famine. This was then followed by a meticulous 20-week rehabilitation and refeeding phase. The physical impact was as dramatic as you might expect. During that semi-starvation phase, the men lost vast amounts of fat and muscle. But the real shocker? Their basal metabolic rates plummeted by a staggering 40%. Their core temperatures dropped, their heart rates slowed right down, their bodies essentially went into hibernation mode just to prolong their lives.
But what's absolutely fascinating here is the biological and psychological trauma of this starvation. Beyond just the physical emaciation, the men experienced profound depression, social withdrawal, and a total obsession with food. And when the refeeding phase finally began, they experienced extreme hyperphagia. Basically, their bodies drove them to relentlessly overeat, requiring over 4,000 calories a day just to begin recovering those lost tissues. This proves that restrictive dieting doesn't just shrink fat cells, it fundamentally rewires your behavioral psychology.
Section 3. Defining metabolic adaptation. So what is actually happening inside the body during prolonged caloric restriction that makes it act this way?
The crucial takeaway here is that metabolic adaptation, which is also known scientifically as adaptive thermogenesis, isn't just burning fewer calories because your body is physically lighter. Not at all. It is a profound, evolutionarily conserved defense mechanism. Your cells literally become more efficient, stretching every single calorie further to keep your vital organs running.
Let's break down the math on this. When you lose weight, about 65% of your metabolic slowdown happens simply because you have less tissue to maintain. Makes sense, right? But roughly 35% of the reduction in your resting metabolic rate cannot be explained by lost tissue. That 35% is pure biological adaptation. It is your central nervous system pulling the emergency brake on your energy expenditure.
Section 4. The Hormonal Hunger Trap. Your body orchestrates this metabolic slowdown through a cascade of systemic endocrine changes. This is where gut health, sleep, and brain function all collide. Cutting calories plummets your primary fullness hormone, leptin, by up to 48%. When your brain senses this massive drop, it panics. It tanks your active thyroid hormone, T3, which slows your basal thermogenesis. Meanwhile, your stress hormone, cortisol, shoots up. And your gut, it drastically increases the hunger hormone ghrelin while suppressing satiety peptides. Your gut is literally screaming at your brain to eat while your body simultaneously slows its metabolic engine to a crawl.
And all of this triggers something known in the scientific literature as the summer matter cycle. This huge hormonal shift induces a localized skeletal muscle hypothyroidism. Simply put, your muscles actively suppress their heat production so the body can rapidly refill its fat stores first. This evolutionary priority often leads to a fat overshoot. That's when, upon stopping a diet, you gain back even more visceral fat than you originally lost, completely compromising your healthy aging trajectory.
We also really have to factor in the stress response here. The psychological toll of severe dieting, like rigidly sticking to 1,200 calories a day, it massively spikes biological cortisol. Chronic cortisol elevation directs fat storage straight to your abdomen. But worse, it upregulates neuropeptide Y in the brain, triggering intense, uncontrollable biological cravings for high-calorie, hyperpalatable foods. This cortisol spike also fragments your sleep architecture, which in turn causes ghrelin to rise even further the next day. It is a vicious, completely interconnected loop.
So it's absolutely vital to reframe how we view this whole process. What pop culture often casually calls metabolic damage is actually your body functioning perfectly. It is a miraculous, evolutionarily conserved network designed to keep you alive during a perceived famine. You aren't broken, you are surviving.
Section 5. Beating the biological defense. Let's look at how modern clinical strategies build upon this deep science.
How do we actually work with our biology instead of fighting against it? Well, instead of continuous restriction, which we now know just triggers biological alarms and mental exhaustion, clinical studies suggest using intermittent energy restriction. This means taking planned diet breaks, where you temporarily return to maintenance calories. This practice restores your energy balance, normalizes leptin and thyroid hormones, lowers the adaptive thermogenic response, and provides incredible micro-mental health relief from the constant cognitive load of dieting.
We also must rethink the actual composition of weight loss. During standard caloric restriction, about 75% of the weight lost is fat, but a highly concerning 25% comes from metabolically active lean mass. If we want to optimize for healthy aging and longevity, preserving that lean mass is absolutely crucial to keeping your metabolism elevated and preventing sarcopenic obesity down the line.
The clinical solution here is very clear. Maintaining a high protein intake, roughly 1.7 grams per kilogram of body weight, alongside regular resistance training, preserves that vital skeletal muscle mass. By doing this, you prevent your resting energy expenditure from crashing, keeping your internal metabolic engine burning hot even as you lose fat. Finally, managing the stress-weight gain cycle is essential. By securing high-quality sleep and using chronobiologically aligned movement, like exercising during your natural morning cortisol peak and utilizing evening digital detoxes, you prevent those artificial cortisol spikes that completely sabotage your metabolism. When you optimize your sleep, you regulate your gut hormones, which in turn stabilizes your mood and cognitive focus for deep work.
When we synthesize all this data, the most effective, science-backed strategy for quality weight loss emerges. It requires abandoning extreme deficits, it demands strategic intermittent diet breaks, rigorous resistance training, and a truly holistic approach to stress and sleep management to keep your cortisol in check. Because, as we've seen, every single system is connected.
We've explored the profound depths of how your brain, gut, hormones, and muscles interact to protect you. Knowing that your body possesses such a powerful, ancient survival mechanism, how will we change your approach to health, aging, and weight management moving forward? Are you going to keep fighting your biology, or are you finally ready to work alongside it?